about like what Brett was saying. Nothing at COC is impossible without Dr. Dianne Van Hook. So I want to introduce her to you because she's my mentor. She's a good friend, and without her, a lot of things that we want to do would not be possible. So I would like to formally introduce her. It is my distinct honor to introduce Dr. Dianne Van Hook, Chancellor of the Santa Clarita Community College District. Dr. Van Hook is truly a unique educator with a dynamic presence, which you see, a wealth of knowledge as it relates to education, innovation, and optimism for the future. That part I love. In fact, she has dedicated her career to helping others achieve their highest potential, always challenge them to achieve to believe in themselves. And personally, that's what she has done to me 14 years here at College of the Canyons. I was a faculty. I didn't know I could be an administrator. And when I was referred to this opportunity, I wasn't sure if I could do it. But she's the one truly believed in me and saw the skill sets that I have to be able to develop a program, which I never knew I had. So she brought that out of me in the past 5 years, which I'm truly grateful. Dr. Van Hook holds the unique distinction of currently being California's longest-serving community college leader. She has proven that if you have the courage to dream, to go against the status quo, to trust your instincts, and to work hard, you can indeed do it. So she always tells us, if you can dream it, you can do it. And if you want to do it, well, it's up to you, right? But if you dream it, you do it, you succeed. That is exemplified in the fact that the transfer rate of College of the Canyons students to four-year universities is ranked among the top 3 community colleges in LA County. For those of you who are faculty, we thank you for what you do. And what you do is very much supported by our Chancellor's vision. That's why we are such an excellent college the way we are today. Under her leadership, College of Canyons continues to provide students with the knowledge and skills they will need to pursue 21st century career. And part of that is help our students to have an environment that they develop their global competency. And that's part of the reason we're able to bring the scholars from across the world to come here to talk to our students and to work with our faculty for curriculum development. Dr. Van Hook's mission is clear, which I really appreciate. 1, removing barriers for students. 2, providing a positive learning environment. I love working here. I get out every day, I'm just happy, I want to come. Even when I travel, I come back, I say, jet lag, I say, what jet lag? The sun is up, I'm going to COC. That's really truly inspired by Dr. Van Hook. Acquiring the necessary resources to support excellent teaching and student learning. And doing all of this with amazing passion, while fostering and challenging innovation to meet the needs of all of our COC students. So students, if you're here later, get a chance to talk to Dr. Van Hook because you're here with this wonderful environment, all because of her. She has a unique ability to bring out the best in others and help people achieve their full potential. Those who know her best credit her with inspiring them, like me, to achieve more than they ever thought possible. And ISP is today, compared to this 5, 10, 20 years ago, is truly because she believes this is what's needed here in our community, on our campus. She also supports us with the whatever crazy ideas that we have. For her, nothing is enough. For her, it's a yes. She supports you, and you find a way to do it. And that has changed so many students' lives. Because of it, we have students who have no college to go to in their home country. But they come here to end up at UC Berkeley, UCLA in 3 years. And those students' lives will forever changed. And then now we want to bring the stage of ISP development to the next level, which will be faculty interaction with faculty from other universities, from Egypt, from Taiwan, from Algeria. That's what we're working on. And we've got wonderful faculty like Sal and Fran to help us with it. So without further ado, it is truly my privilege to welcome Chancellor Dianne Van Hook.
I apologize for my tennis shoes and my casual pants. I had a hip replaced some months back, and I'm bound and determined that I am going to do those difficult hikes like I used to. So I make myself walk 6 miles a day here on campus. And just this weekend, I did one of my favorite hikes in this year. So in order to do that, I have to be a little more comfortable. So I thank you. It's wonderful to be able to be here with you. I need to let you know I have a conference call scheduled at 3:30. Should be done about 4:15. So I'll come back, but I do need to go do that conference call. I appreciate you coming to our campus. We love our campus. We think it's a really pretty campus. It's not boring. All the buildings aren't the same shape or the same size. When I came here in 1988, so I've been here for 31 years in this job, we had 5 buildings on campus. And they were the cement buildings out in the center of campus. I thought I had arrived at a prison in Central California. They were all exactly the same. We didn't have any trees, we didn't have any flowers. And I said, "Hey, kids, we gotta change this up a little bit and make it a place where every time you turn there's something interesting and it doesn't look like what just was." So I thank you for being here and appreciating our campus. I want to thank all the scholars that are with us today and who traveled from long distances. You should meet, sorry to go off the track here, but I do that regularly. Joe Gerda, who's our Vice President of Instruction, his son spent a lot of time in Egypt. So you should meet him. And we really appreciate the dialogue. You know, education has changed so dramatically in the last 30 years, where you can be in touch with anyone at any time and learn at least the basic information about anything on this, versus the phones that I grew up with, which were attached to the wall and had a spiral cord, and you'd stretch it as far as you could. And if you really wanted to learn, you had to go to the library, you had to take rolls of dimes, you had to do your research, you had to write it on an index card, you had to Xerox it, and your ability to learn was, and networked was trapped in a structure that you really couldn't control. We don't have that anymore. When Jai is traveling, I feel kind of like I'm there with her. I'm glad I'm not, because I could not keep up the pace. But in one hitting of the text blurb, she'll send me 32 pictures and show me the 3,000 steps she did and the 12 dishes she had for lunch. And I'm exhausted before I even get done looking at the pictures. So it's truly a different world. I've always believed that if you can imagine it, you can achieve it, and if you can dream it, you can do it. And I think in today's world, with the ability to design your structure, design your path, design your connections, that is even more so true than it ever has been. So it's a pleasure to be here to kick off the International Forum on Youth. I want to thank all of the organizers who spend countless hours doing what they're doing to create opportunities for other people. So my background is I'm a community college graduate. I went to Long Beach City College. I got to start while I was in high school. Took about three-quarters of a year while I was in high school. Went out to Long Beach City, then went to Cal State Long Beach, became a teacher, taught middle school, junior high school, our equivalent to 6th, 7th, and 8th grade for 5.5 long years. That's a long time to teach middle school. Those people have lots of energy and are incredibly creative. They were so creative that we would have the excuse of the week competition in every single one of my classes to come up with and vote on the best excuse about why they didn't turn in their term paper or turn in their homework. And then that creative person would get a pass for that 1 week only. I moved on to the community college level. I was a counselor. I ran programs for first-generation college students, for immigrants. I helped to facilitate the influx of 5,000 Indo-Chinese refugees in the late 70s and early 80s to the community of Santa Ana. When I was in high school, I was president of a club called AFS, American Field Studies. And that club organized opportunities for about 10 high school students a year to go study in another country, and to have 10 students from that country come and study at Long Beach Poly High School. So I have long had an interest in the value of bringing different and unknown perspectives together to have conversation about how everything can get better. And that's what we do at College of the Canyons. I think we embrace diversity, which the best definition I've seen of diversity for me is the art of thinking independently together, so that you come up with something that you would not have logically deduced with your own framework. Given that you never know who you're going to be doing business with on the phone, through the internet, if you are a gig economy person, if you're an entrepreneur, it's really important that we create opportunities for everybody to get outside of what they're familiar with and learn about other ways of doing the same and or different things together. So it's very, very important to me. As our community colleges continue to evolve, so we have 115 community colleges in California. And together, the community colleges in California serve 1 out of every 4 community college students in the entire United States. So we have somewhere between 25 and 30% of all community college students. We're by far the largest system of higher education in the world in our California community colleges, about 2.4 million students who come from diverse language backgrounds and diverse educational backgrounds. At the community college level, yes, we do provide the first 2 years of high quality education that leads to transfer. But we also retrain people all of the time. People whose industry has evolved and their skills are no longer sufficient to allow them to advance in that industry. So we do a lot of retraining to enable people to either switch gears or to advance in their profession. We really work hard to be able to prepare any student to succeed in their goals and on their path, no matter whatever that is. We have about 200 majors and certifications at the time. We don't provide, but we make available to our students 39 bachelor's and master's degrees in our university center that are provided by some of our partners that we collaborate with. So people who have families and other responsibilities and work full-time can get that advanced degree without leaving the Santa Clarita Valley. Because getting on the 5 freeway at 5:30 is very rarely a picnic, nor something I put on my top 5 list. So we want to remove the barrier of access by bringing education to the valley and also to online and distributing it throughout our community. So international students, we didn't really have an international student program 23 years ago or so. We had international students who just happened to end up here. Many ended up here because their parents knew someone who had a business in one of our industrial parks who was from another country. And then Mr. Pelkey, Dr. Pelkey, who was a counselor and ran another program, was really interested in developing our ISP program. So I asked him if he would do that, and he did that. And he did it with great flair. I mean, he wore costumes and brought he was very, very dramatic about what he did, but he built up an appreciation for different perspectives and started to grow that program. Currently, we have 200 students from 44 countries speaking 21 languages. And in the last 5 years, 114 of our international students have received a degree or a certificate I understand we have 31 now in the last, 5 years that have gotten into UC Berkeley. By the way, I had an opportunity to meet a vice chancellor from UC Berkeley, not in the right area, he's in charge of the money, but that's okay, it doesn't hurt to know those guys either. And I met him actually at a memorial service for the mother of one of our faculty members the other day, happens to be her cousin. And so we started to talk about, he's from Texas, and I said, well, how do you like Berkeley? And he says, well, I don't know, there's a lot of really different people there. And I said, well, what do you mean, different nationalities, different ages? He said, no, compared to Texas, they're just weird. He said, they do really weird things, and they're kind of way out there. And I said, how long have you been there? He says, 4 months. I said, give it a year, really. You're gonna really like it there. And I shared with him that we've had a large international student population transfer. So for our students, we encourage them, if they're interested in going into the global marketplace, which is just about anybody who does business today, to really engage in developing their ability to appreciate differences and invite other people in. Engage other people in whatever way that it is. Our international student program has built partnerships with schools and universities in Taiwan and China, Japan, Egypt, Mexico, and France. And as a part of our new strategic goals here at the college, we have 3 things. One is access, removing the barriers of coming to College of the Canyons for whoever those students are. Number 2, engaging students so that they feel welcome and comfortable and can figure out what it is they like to do. I was having an interesting conversation with 2 high school students over the weekend, and they are going to school. We have a high school on campus. It's called Academy of the Canyons, and it's our local school district's 7th high school. And it lives in the bottom of our university center. We have 400 high school students going to school there. And 100 at each grade level, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And each year, in May or June, wherever our graduation falls, I have the opportunity to give out the diplomas for the associate degrees. And this last year, I handed diplomas to 79 of the 100 seniors in high school. So for their 2-year transferable AA degree, the day before they got their high school diploma. Sometimes that's been as high as 92 of 100 students. Now for those high school students, that's terrific because they get to get 2 years of college out of the way before they ever leave high school, which saves them time, saves them money, and open doors that they don't even know are there. And we work to engage them. But it's really cool for them because we have a lot of things here that they don't have. We don't have they don't have a project with the Holocaust Museum in Los Angeles in the producing animated films of Holocaust survivors. They don't have the kind of theater departments we do, or the Future Business Leaders of America, or the speech team, on and on. And the only thing those students can't do, because they're not college age, is participate in our intercollegiate athletics. But for them, they have opportunities to engage in things that they never would. We have about 120 student clubs on campus. If you can't find a club that is of your interest, don't whine about it, just start one that is. Because we've gone from like 20 clubs to 100 and some clubs because people wanted to be able to bring together people to pursue their passion. And then thirdly, we really support student success. And we do exceptionally well on any of the statewide criteria for completion and transfer of our students. We had a theme many years ago, and it's really kind of run through the last 15 years, and it's start here, go anywhere. If you go to College of the Canyons and you apply yourself, and you don't give up, and you're willing to be honest with yourself about what you'd like to do and what you want to do going forward, you can get there. And as you walk across the campus, you'll see a number of banners, and the banners profile our alumni, and they also say the doctor's college, the nurse's college, the lawyer's college, because that's what our alumni do. They start here and they go anywhere that they want to go. At College of the Canes in the ISP program shares that idea of creating opportunities. And we also really value the input from the people that we're serving. We want to know what it is that you need for us to do, if you're a student, to help you be successful going forward. The topics this week: promise of a generation to come, aspirations for youth, identity in a changing world, global challenges, and looking forward. That's the exciting part of being here in today's world, is we get to look forward, we get to look back, and remember what we've learned. That means what worked and what didn't work so good. And then we get to design that path or multiple paths to go forward. Stephen Covey said, strength lies in differences, not in similarities. When we bring people together from different cultures and backgrounds and generations and mindsets and leadership styles and involve them and listen to them and make them feel appreciated as we value them, we will learn to create a different way of going forward that is much richer than anything we could have had in our own heads to begin with. We are unleashing the potential to build a better tomorrow, and that's why we're all here today. So I thank you very much for being involved. I thank you for being here. When I come back, I'd be glad to answer any questions if there's any time left, so think about the questions. And we look forward to, we love to collaborate. And in my time here at College of the Canyons, I've probably hired about 950 full-time people here. There are only 4 people who work here today that were here when I started. The other 896, some of whom have already gone on and retired or moved on to a position of their desire, I was able to have a role in hiring. And I hire people who are positive, who have energy and enthusiasm, who are willing to work together to do something that they couldn't do on their own. People who have a sense of humor and who are not afraid to say, I made a mistake, I don't know, I need help, and I'm sorry. If you can say those 4 things, you will always get further in life and create possibilities. If I have time, which I don't, I tell you this story about Saab when he interviewed for the math position. But lucky for Saab, I'm out of minutes and I need to run across the hall. But it was that sense of humor that he displayed in that interview. That's what I remember about him, was his sense of humor that I like to surround myself with. So thank you very much for letting me speak, and I'll work very hard to get back. Thank you.